Welcome to Talk to Brazil with Tom Reaoch, the business connector to business in Brazil. Welcome to Talk to Brazil, the business connection, a leading Brazil business podcast talking about business in the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, an American from Pittsburgh living in Brazil and known for business networking and talking from my podcast studio in Campinas, São Paulo, Brazil. Today's guest is Evelien van Es, and she's talking with us from Maarsen in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Evelien is owner and founder of Signature for Success. She's a sparring partner, mentor, and coach for business owners and senior managers. Evelien is also the author of Be Relentlessly Yourself. We met through a virtual connection on LinkedIn from our friend and previous Talk to Brazil guest, Dominic Damaski. So with that, welcome to Talk to Brazil Business Connection.
Thank you, Tom. It's wonderful being here.
No, it's our pleasure. Evelien, I see and you know that business success takes a lot of conditioning and training. As a sparring partner with your clients, do you take the punches or do you punch back?
Yeah. Well, the key about being a sparring partner is really to get into the ring with the person that you're working with. I think that is most important, is to help someone get to know themselves at a deeper level so that they can translate that and use that either in their career, in their jobs, or in the business that they're running. Because it's all about getting to that core being that you are and how to use that in building an authentic business. And so I love to be on the spot in the ring with the people that I work with.
And your focus on yourself, because generally when we're in business, either as an executive or a business owner, we generally don't think about ourselves. We either think about a product, we think about a market, we think about clients, we think about paying bills. Why do you think it's so important to think about yourself?
Well, I think it is first getting to know yourself at a deeper level. That is the starting point of getting specific on what your unique added value is and how you can help your clients. So I believe that with a deeper knowledge of yourself, you're even better to serve your customer and to really know what your customers need instead of just focusing on a specific product. I think it's all about contact. It's all about knowing what your clients need. And to be able to see that, you have to get to know yourself very well. And that really is what the journey of life and business is all about. I think there's so many entrepreneurs out there that are building a business on copying what they see that they should be doing, right, instead of really getting to that core and use that in doing business.
Because really many customers, they want to buy you. They don't want to buy a product. When we get back to the essential, say we want customer service, customer satisfaction. The word that's used more often is experience. People want an experience, and each of us, as a person, we're unique and we have experience. So, is that how you help people melt that into what they are and what they do?
Absolutely. And I just mentioned that your unique added value really is the foundation of what your unique signature is. And that all is about getting to know who your ideal client is and to know what is it that you help your client with, because it doesn't matter if you have a specific product or if you have a service, you help your client in a certain transformation. But you have to know what that transformation is. And your clients all have a story. They all have a story to sell and to share with the world. But you cannot create that story if you don't really know what that is from your soul, right, that you really can connect with your clients from heart to heart. And it doesn't matter what business you're in. That really is crucial as a business owner.
And clients today, they're everywhere. I'm
Absolutely.
in Campinas, you're in Maarsen, but I don't know where my clients are anymore.
I know, and that's amazing about this world. And especially now during the pandemic, I think we're all connecting with people throughout the world. And even for me, writing my book, Be Relentlessly Yourself, during the pandemic, it was a wonderful way in being able to connect with people from India to South America to the States and to the UK to connect with them, and that makes the world even a bit smaller without even traveling. And that's, I think that really is also a gift. I think that everything that happens in our lives is also something that we're challenging to look at the opportunities and the good things about it, and how we can grow and how we can work on our on ourselves and to be able to serve even better.
Well, we talked a little bit before we got on air. Obviously, from the Netherlands, you're a Dutch woman, you're successful. My impression of Dutch people, they have always been globally oriented from way back when. It's like before anything, before airplanes, before they were out there on the high seas and they were connecting the world. So it's natural, I think, for you as a person to reach out. That's difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it is, everybody has their own experience there. And for me, it really is about what I do is, it's such a universal thing. And I think it's even, being born in the Netherlands, a tiny country, but where the world feels like our backyard. And I think that really is what it is. And I think that is a great opportunity. And I love working with clients all over the world and to really help them in thriving and growing their business, and, not getting, not to stay stuck in having that nagging question about what they want or how they can grow their business, but really do it from their unique signature, their unique foundation as a starting point. And I think that is just a huge gift of being born here in the Netherlands, I think.
And how did the book come out of all that? How did you take advantage of the pandemic, as you said? Did you find that in yourself, that say, hey, I'm going to wake up and write a book?
Yeah, well, I think writing a book is not a rational decision. It's something it was the start of COVID time last year, March, when I started writing it. And it was a huge gift, I think, of Mother Nature by giving me the time, and the weather was beautiful, starting to write this book. And of course, it's a result of a journey of many years being in business, being 15 years as an entrepreneur, having that corporate background and working with so many clients, but also my own personal journey. And so it's pretty magical how this book was created, and it's and so I think this really feels like magic. It feels like magic to be able to write something in a time like this, and to be able to have this vehicle at hand, as how I call it, to share my message and to help people worldwide to do that reflection, because this book really helps you to reflect on a deeper level and to be aware of what your mindset is and to work on your personal growth, because that really is the foundation of building your business and growing your business. You cannot grow your business if you don't work on yourself and to understand it yourself at a deeper level.
I wrote a book once, and the process that I took, I wanted to understand how to make a book, because the word writing for me was a personal barrier. I couldn't see myself, when somebody says write a book, I think of a pencil and a bunch of paper, and you have to sit down. And I thought that was tedious. And that was a barrier. That was a personal barrier. But what it did, this process of making a book or writing a book, and back to what you said about yourself, in my case, it helps you understand yourself, because you have to put it, if it's on a piece of paper or in a computer or whatever, you have to think about a lot of things that normally we don't think about.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think there's a different, some people love writing, and I love writing. I didn't have what you were just explaining, what your experience is, but then still, getting to the point where your book is there and really finalizing it's a huge journey. It's not something you do overnight. And if someone tells you that is the case, I don't believe that is, because it really is, it feels like a baby to be born. And yeah, it really is.
I know.
But I loved this. I think it's the most intense processes that I've been through. But now being able to spread the word and being able to help so many people to get to find their own signature and to help them to find a life where they have deeper fulfillment instead of, being okay with a job that just doesn't, really serve them. And I think if you don't do something that gives you fulfillment, you're not living your purpose. Right. You're not living the life that you're supposed to be living. And that's really, my subtitle, Take on Life, that really is a deliberate choice. If you take on life and really deal with what you're being faced with, or not. And I really, this really is something I feel it's really close to my heart to get that message out there and to really have so many more people to live the life that they dream of. And I think it's, and I think having that desire is the beginning of creation. And yeah.
And that you transform that to your clients. You help them see themselves.
Absolutely. Because every question that I get about, I want more clients or I want to grow my business, there is a deeper reason within themselves why they are not in a flow, why they're not creating, why they're stagnating. And you have to get into that to be able to build up on that and to be able to grow. And so that's what I do. I help them see themselves at a deeper level and to transform that, and also to book results, because that's what they're here for. It's not just getting to know yourself. It's also knowing how to practically translate it either in your career path or in your business.
Well, you handle and you deal with people in many parts of the world. Right?
Yes.
What's a common point amongst people? What is the same and what's different?
I think a lot of people are stuck in fear. And that's kind of because we were just saying about you have to focus on yourself first to be able to serve, to know what your purpose is and to serve the world. But a lot of people are stuck in patterns, what they've learned about how they're not good enough or they can't do this or that. And a lot of people, I don't think that it really is a universal theme, are, get kind of stuck in a sort of a roundabout instead of really stepping out and looking at what is it that makes you unique and how can you serve others. Right. And so there you have to step really beyond yourself instead of staying stuck, because if you stay stuck and you choose fear over love, you'll never be able to live your purpose. So it really is about seeing that and really allowing yourself to take a helicopter view of your life and to see really what is happening and to be able to make different choices and to take a leap and to take a risk instead of staying in a safe zone. Right. And so I think that definitely is universal. And of course you have different cultures. For example, some cultures in Asia where people are extremely polite and they're not really used to focusing on themselves. And so definitely that is important to take into account. But also there, it is really important to look within the limitations and within the cultural aspects that you have, how you can help people, how you can serve them in finding a life where they feel more fulfilled and how they can really thrive as a business owner.
So you're really helping people wrap their arms around the word change. Because if we're in a comfort level, and be that cultural or whatever, we need to change. So you help people change?
Absolutely. I help them transform and to really make changes that stick, changes that are not usually done overnight, but that definitely have a huge impact on their businesses, their lives, and the people that they're surrounded with. And I think that's also really important because so many people are surrounded with people in their environment, either their work or their private environment, that are not helping them to really, climb that mountain and not to really book those results. And I think if you really want to take it on and to really grow and to really do that, make sure you have people around yourself. And you can do that with people, for example, you in Brazil and me in the Netherlands, you can do that with people overseas. It doesn't matter as long as you have people around you that really help you take out the best of you and your life.
I agree with you, but that's been the story of my life. But part of that, you have to reach out. And not only reaching out, I think, and what I defend, you need to be reachable. One thing is to reach out. Other is to accept when people reach out to you. And what sometimes we find that people aren't receptive because of, as you mentioned, the defense, the fear, whatever. They're not open to relating to other people, to meeting new clients. So that fear level becomes a wall.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I love about what you're just bringing up is that for me, writing the book and even sharing some stories in Be Relentlessly Yourself is about being vulnerable myself. I'm also sharing a couple of stories myself. I have interviews in the book, but by doing that, even my clients, they give back to me. They say that they even love that most. They say it's so wonderful because then we can see what you've been through and we can really feel it. But that does.
It's authentic. It's authentic.
Absolutely.
We're talking about storytelling, but it's not fake. It's real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that feels wonderful to be able to do that and not, I'm not afraid of judgments there because that really actually, I even speak about it, how you can be free of judgments actually, because that really is a liberating fact if you can become that in life. And
but that's not easy to do.
No, definitely not. But walk your own path and don't be afraid. It's, and that's what Signature for Success is all about. It's really that signature that is unique. As when I was a child, I tried to practice on the signature of my dad, and I was never really good at that because it was just really hard. But your signature is you, and that's unique.
Right.
So I don't believe in competition either, because no one is alike.
That's true. That's the point that I defend, and I agree with. We're talking about 8 billion people in the world, and there are 8 billion unique humans.
Absolutely.
Nobody's the same.
No.
And everybody's trying to make everybody the same, but they're not. Everybody has their own story. You have your story. I have my story. It can never be repeated by anybody else.
No. And that's also a matter of not being afraid of, don't lose yourself in getting distracted. Just walk your own path and do your thing and be relentlessly yourself and not afraid of consequences. And if you're respectful to others and just walk your path, that's the best gift that you can give to others and to the world, just to do that. And, that's what I'm.
Well, you've left your gift as the book because I think one of the things, a book becomes part of your legacy. I think that the root of writing and publishing a book, it's forever.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we can make a speech. Sometimes we can partake in a meeting, but that's transitional.
Absolutely.
A book literally is forever.
Yeah.
And so somebody 250 years from now will be able to go back and see and read, right?
Yeah.
And understand why what you have said and written is so important.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
I really think so. Personally, but I only find that amazement I did after writing the book. And once you actually see it, you said it's like a child, right? Mm-hmm. And so I put the book up there on a shelf. I take a look at it once in a while. The positive thing, books don't cry. So they just sit there and you look at them and it'll be there. It'll be there when I'm not here anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's, we all, in our sense, we live our life in a way that we want to leave a legacy. And it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a book or something else that you do, but that really gives you a feeling that you can contribute. You can contribute to the lives of others. And I think by being able to serve others and really help others, that's what gives you that feeling of fulfillment. And I think that's a wonderful feeling to have that. And I think it's...
so it's really two things. Be relentlessly yourself and be relentlessly successful. Being yourself, right?
Yes, exactly. And knowing what success is for you, because success is maybe something different for you as it is for me. And so knowing what the deeper reason is behind your desires, because, having success just because of success is probably not leading you to what you really want. It's because it's the thought behind the thought that's the leading thought. So I think that's also really important to know that.
Certainly.
And,
very good. Well, I want to thank you. We're coming to the end of our time, but I want to make sure that our listeners know how to find you. First of all, the book is Be Relentlessly Yourself, and it's available on Amazon and also Barnes & Noble, correct?
Yes, and there is also a Dutch translation of the book, which is called Wees onverbiddelijk jezelf, and which is available through many, many different channels, but also through my own website, which is Evelien with IEN van Es.com.
And I'll spell that. So that's EVELINVANES.com.
Exactly. Right? Yes. And it's my website is in 2 languages, Dutch and English. Just, click the English flag and then you'll be able to read it. And
You can also learn Dutch, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, very good. Well, I want to thank you, Evelien, for being part. I also want to thank Dom for presenting us, which is also amazing.
Yes.
And wish you success and be relentlessly yourself.
Thank you, Tom. Wonderful being here with you today.
Thank you. And for our listeners, again, you can find more about Evelien van Es on LinkedIn, and also Signature for Success. So that's signature, the number 4, SUCCESS.com. Her book, again, is Be Relentlessly Yourself on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. I'd like to thank you, our audience, and our sponsor, Focus MI Marketing Intelligence. Focus MI specializes in market research for the Brazilian agricultural market. More about them on their site, which is FOCUSMI.com. Find our previous shows of Talk to Brazil podcast on major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, YouTube, and many others. Remember, when you talk to Tom, you talk to Brazil and the world. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Tom Reaoch on Talk to Brazil, the business connector to Brazil.